Did you know that according to the World Happiness Report, people in the top happiest countries are not necessarily the wealthiest? That's right. It's a surprising but intriguing revelation that shatters the age-old myth of money equating to happiness. We often associate happiness with wealth, imagining that the more opulence we possess, the happier we'll be. Yet, the statistics tell us a different story. In the far corners of the world, nestled in the snowy peaks of Scandinavia or the sun-drenched beaches of Central America, you'll find nations with people radiating joy, despite their varying levels of wealth. This disparity is not a random occurrence, nor is it a simple case of cultural differences. It's a complex interplay of various factors that contribute to a nation's happiness quotient, and wealth, it seems, is just one small piece of that puzzle. So what are these factors? Well, they range from social support to life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, generosity, and even perceptions of corruption. You see, happiness is a multifaceted concept, not a one-size-fits-all equation. What makes one person happy might not work for another. Happiness isn't a destination, but rather a journey, a personal journey that each one of us embarks on, and it's influenced by a myriad of elements that go beyond material wealth. Now, this begs the question, can we learn to be happy? Can we train our minds to find joy in the everyday, to appreciate the little things, and to build a life that truly fulfills us? The answer is not as straightforward as we might hope, but it's a question worth exploring. So join us as we delve deeper into this intriguing topic. Let's uncover the layers of happiness, analyze its composition, and seek to understand how we can cultivate it within ourselves. It's a journey worth taking, a question worth asking, and a discovery worth making. So let's dive into the fascinating world of happiness and discover if it's something you can actually learn. Happiness, a simple word with a complex meaning. But what does it really mean to be happy? Some may say it's the feeling of contentment, while others may describe it as a surge of joy. For a child, it could be as simple as a scoop of their favorite ice cream. For a parent, it could be the sound of their child's laughter. There's the story of an artist who found happiness in the strokes of his paintbrush, creating vibrant worlds on a blank canvas. And then, the tale of a woman who discovered joy in the silent pages of a book, immersing herself in tales of love, adventure, and mystery. Happiness isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It's a mosaic of moments, experiences, and emotions that vary from person to person. It's a sensation that's as diverse and unique as we are. So, happiness is subjective and personal. But can we learn to be happier? Believe it or not, there's a science to happiness, and it's not as complicated as you might think. When we peel back the layers of laughter and joy, we find a rich tapestry of neuroscience, psychology, and even genetics at play. Research suggests that our happiness quotient is determined by a blend of our genes, our environment, and our actions. Let's start with genetics. A study from the University of Minnesota found that identical twins, even when raised apart, have similar levels of happiness. This suggests that our genes play a significant role in our happiness. So if you're naturally a bit of a grump, you might be able to blame it on your DNA. But don't worry, that's not the whole story. Our environment also shapes our happiness. Think about it. Are you more likely to smile on a sunny day or a rainy one? Do you feel happier when you're surrounded by loved ones or when you're alone? Our surroundings and the people we interact with can influence our mood and our overall sense of well-being. Now, let's consider actions. Imagine this. You've had a long, tough day at work. You're feeling drained and a little bit grumpy. But then, you decide to do something kind for someone else. You buy coffee for a stranger, or you help a neighbor with their groceries. Suddenly, your mood lifts. That's the power of positive actions. Studies show that acts of kindness can boost our happiness levels. So, we've got our genes, our environment, and our actions. But what about those people who just seem to be naturally happier than others? Well, science suggests that these people might have a more positive outlook on life. They're more likely to see the glass as half full rather than half empty. They tend to focus on the good rather than the bad. And the good news is, this is a skill that can be learned. So, while we can't change our genes or always control our environment, there are strategies we can learn to be happier. Yes, you heard it right. You can learn to be happy. It's not magic or a secret formula. It's about cultivating certain habits that can lead to a happier, more fulfilling life. Let's start with the practice of gratitude. It's not just about saying thank you. It's about truly appreciating the good in life. Consider the story of Jane, a woman who kept a gratitude journal for 1 year. Every day, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. By the end of the year, Jane reported feeling more joy and less stress. Her perspective shifted from focusing on problems to acknowledging the good things in her life. Next, let's talk about mindfulness. This is the practice of being fully present and engaged in the moment, without judgment. Take Tom, for instance. He started practicing mindfulness meditation for 10 minutes each day. Soon, he noticed he was less reactive to stress and more appreciative of everyday moments. He learned to savor his morning coffee, enjoy his commute, and feel more connected in his relationships. Finally, there's the power of positive thinking. This doesn't mean ignoring the negatives, but rather focusing on the positives. Remember Lisa? She was constantly stressed about her job, her bills, her health. One day, she decided to change her mindset. Every time a negative thought popped into her head, she challenged it with a positive one. Over time, this practice transformed her outlook. She became more optimistic, more resilient, and yes, happier. All these individuals didn't just stumble upon happiness. They learned to be happy by incorporating these practices into their daily lives. They made a conscious choice to focus on the positive, to be present, and to appreciate the good around them. And it worked. So you see, happiness is not just a state of mind, it's a skill you can develop. You too can learn to be happy. It's a journey, not a destination, and it's a journey worth taking. So there you have it. Happiness isn't just about your genes or your circumstances, it's also about the choices you make. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. We started our journey by debunking the myth that happiness is a mere byproduct of a perfect life. We then explored the intricacies of what happiness truly is, a subjective experience that varies from person to person. Diving into the science of happiness, we discovered that our brain is a powerful tool, capable of learning and adapting to foster happiness. The key takeaway? You have the power to cultivate your own happiness. By implementing strategies such as practicing gratitude, nurturing social connections, and pursuing personal goals, you can shape your life into a happier one. So go ahead and start your journey to happiness. Remember, it's not a destination, but a way of life. And yes, you can learn to be happy. Thank you for watching, and please leave a comment answering the question on whether or not you agree that you can learn to be happy. Please don't